Hi, welcome to the session on Scratch. So far, we have animated the cat chasing a balloon. Now, in this video, we will see how to make it as a game. As long as the cat touches the balloon, the cat scores a point. To make this, I'm going to have an empty project. I have given a name for this project called as test space game. You can define any name, and then I'm also saving this project by clicking the save now button here. Once it is saved, the option will go off and automatically the file will get saved as we keep on adding the program. Now let's add our sprite characters into the window. First, the cat is by default already present here. The next is the sprite. I'm going to add balloon. Click on the search window and select the balloon here. Once the balloon appears, go and program the cat and the balloon separately. We saw in the session that cat has to be programmed separately and the balloon has to be programmed separately. When I click on cat, the program window changes for cat and you will be able to see a difference here. Now what I should do is, I should define when my program has to start. That is defined under the events logic block. Click the events logic, select when flag clicked block. Drag this block and put it in the program window. After this, I want my cat to always move along my mouse pointer. I repeat again, I want my cat to always move along my mouse pointer as I move it, so that whenever I try to touch the balloon with my mouse, it is actually the cat touching the balloon. Now what I'm going to do as the next step, this cat has to follow my mouse pointer continuously without any break. For that to happen, I'm going to use, under the control logic, there is an option called forever. This by meaning forever is, it will repeat whatever logic we put inside continuously again and again and again. So inside this, I am going to define a motion logic stating make this particular sprite go to a specific position. By default it shows random position, but instead we can click on the drop down and select the mouse pointer. So now when I click this and test it, as I move my mouse, the cat travels along the mouse pointer. Now leave the cat there and click on the stop button. This will come out of the program. This will stop the program. The programming of cat for now is enough. We will go to the balloon sprite and we will make the balloon to move around randomly so that the game gets interesting. The balloon will move randomly and we can try to catch the balloon. To make the balloon move random, we have to use the events block. Use when flag click button so that the program starts, and after that again the balloon has to move continuously. It has to move randomly without stopping. So I'm going to make use of the control block. In the control block, use the forever logic. Inside forever, I'm going to define the motion of my balloon. So go to the motion logic, use go to random position. Now this is good. This itself is good. Now we will run this program by clicking the green flag. If we see here, the movement of balloon is so random and it is uneasy and unpleasant to play the game also. So we will try to reduce the speed of the random balloon movement. To reduce the speed, I am going to reduce the speed of forever block. So I am going to put a speed breaker here. It is something like putting a speed breaker inside the forever logic. It runs continuously, repeatedly faster. So as a speed block or as a speed breaker, I am going to define under the control block, there is a wait 1 second block. Drag it and put it inside the forever logic. This wait of 1 second is a little huge. I can reduce it to 0.5 second. So every 0.5 second, my balloon will keep on shifting to a random position. Let's click on the green button and check. Now this is pleasant and we can try to catch the balloon as this moves. Right? So this is the step that we have achieved so far. But so far we haven't calculated the score. To calculate the score, what I should require is the ability to sense that my cat is touching the balloon. That ability we can derive by making use of two separate things. First, we will need under the control block the condition check. If then, drag this and put it below the balloon logic. So click on the balloon scratch. Inside the balloon scratch, I am going to drag this if logic and put it below this go to random position. So what will happen? Continuously, as the balloon keeps shifting, this will check if the cat is touching the balloon or not. Now inside this if condition, I need to make sure that the balloon is being touched by the cat. To identify that, there is one more work we have to do. Under the sensing logic, use touching mouse pointer, that is the default value there, drag it and put it inside the if condition. This will go and snap inside. Now in this, it is not correct to use the mouse pointer here. Here I need to make sure the balloon is touching the cat. So there is an option available. Click on the drop down button. You will be able to see the cat sprite. This is the name of the sprite that we have defined for cat. This name you will be able to find it here also. If you see here, when I click the cat sprite, whatever the name here, only that you will be able to select, right? So this name of cat, you will be able to find it in this drop down. If you have a different name, select that name here. Okay, it is not necessary, only cat should be the name there. Okay, so far we have completed identifying the balloon touching the cat. Now we will have to give the score. Now whenever it touches, we have to give the score. At this point, after sensing both cat and balloon are touching, this will come inside. And since there is no logic block defined, it will not do anything and it will come out of this if block. And it will again go to the top after the forever block. Again it says go to random position. So the balloon will automatically move. So there is no score calculated at all so far. We have to define a block here to store a value and we have to increment the score value also. Any value in Scratch can be of two types. Either it can be a number or it can be a text. Either of this value can be stored in a variable. Okay, click on this logic of variables and you will be presented with a few options. First is creating a variable option and the next is setting a particular value to the created variable. And then we can also modify the values of our variable. For example, I am going to create a variable called as score. Click on make a variable and give it a name. I'm going to give a name of score. Click OK here. Once the score variable is created, it will appear here, and when you click the checkbox, the score will become visible here also. The default value is set to 0 and we can increment or decrement this value as per our need. What we will do is, every time when the game begins, we have to reset the value back to 0. So I am going to drag this block and put it below the when flag clicked button. Below this block, I am going to put the set. Click on this list button and select the score variable. So I am going to set only the score variable to 0. And after this, while inside the if logic, I am going to use this block and change the score variable again by 1. What this will do is, if the previous value of 0 is present, it will increment by 1. If 1 is present before, it will do 1 equals 1 plus 1. So the answer will be 2, that will be stored here. If the previous value was 2, then the next time it will become 3 and the next time 4. So every time the value will increment by 1. And let's play this and see if the game is working as expected. I'm going to click the green flag. I'm trying to touch the balloon. But if you observe here, the score is not increasing every time when I touch the balloon. There is a lag built in the game. Even though I touch the balloon, the score is not being counted. Let's try to improve the speed of this game. There is a small way to improve this. In the balloon program, what happens is there is a forever loop and there is a 0.5 wait second to make the balloon move. And inside this wait only, we are trying to sense if the cat is touching. So to improve this, I can separate out this sensing part. The sensing here is if the cat is touching the balloon. This I need not keep it inside this forever block. What I can do is, I can add one more from the events when flag clicked option and add one more forever block. Now select the if logic that is present here, drag it and put it inside this forever block. Now if you see here, when the game begins, when the flag clicked option is a common option, so both will start running at the same time. At the same time, when the balloon is being shifted randomly in the first part of the program, it will also check if the cat is touching or not. Since both are happening at the same time, now my score calculation speed should have improved. Let's check that. Now I'm going to click on the run button and see if the game is working as expected. Let's try to touch the balloon and see if this works. As I touch the balloon, my score is jumping now, but it is like jumping too high, too much of scores as I touch. It should ideally jump by only one value. Let's stop the game and understand why it is running so fast. The reason is this is a forever loop. So as long as I keep touching the balloon, my scores will keep on running. So as long as I keep touching the balloon here, the score, the condition will become true if touching the cat becomes true at this point. And what will happen? The score will also keep on incrementing by 1. To avoid this problem, there is a small way to do this. Just after incrementing, shift the balloon location. Then it will move away and the cat sensing the balloon would have changed. This condition will become false and this will not repeat again unless we take the mouse and go and touch it again. So immediately after scoring a point, I am going to define go to a random position again. So here I can drag and drop this block. Now this should fix our problem. Let's click on the green button, play it again. I'm going to play it. See, as long as I touch, this appears smooth now. It shifts faster, but I'm able to touch and the scores increase also. So every second I'm not missing a balloon and I keep trying and reaching for the balloon as well. If I try to move away, if you see, the scores are not increasing. As long as I do not touch, the scores do not increase as well. It is being stayed at 33 for a long time unless accidentally the balloon touches. Right, so this concludes the part 1 of this game. Try this and come for the tomorrow's session. Thank you.